And the next exercise we're going to cover is the deadbug to sideline drill. This is a really important one, but it's very hard to coordinate. This is something you should take step by step, be very cognizant of how you go through it. And furthermore, I'll remind you once again, get a camera, set it up, film your sets. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to identify any faults that may exist. So he's going to get into a true deadbug position to start. So what you're going to notice is quick positional checklist, knees above waistline like a bottom of the squat. He's going to make sure he's using those posterior stabilizers to press into the floor. He's going to be maintaining his breathing. We shouldn't hold our breath through all this. And then from here, the first step is placing this hand on the floor, and he's going to stop right there for a second and use this hand, pushing it into the floor like an ice pick. Pretending you're climbing some ice, you're using this hand as a point in which you're picking into that ice and using it to stabilize as you go through this movement. That's first. Second off, he's going to go ahead and start to straighten this leg as he kicks over. Now this arm is going to go to the ceiling, and he gets into a position like this. Continue pressing this hand on the floor as he comes up from here. Beautiful. And now from here, he can go ahead and actually lift up using his external rotators within his hips, specifically at glute med especially, and he can go back down, come back up, and this in itself is actually a fantastic drill, but that's going to be the entirety of the transition. So he's going to go ahead and slowly come back down and do this one more time for us, but there's one specific fault I really want to show, and that's the crunch. The crunch is by far the most common part of this, where as he transitions, he'll lift that head up and crunch up. We do not want that. That really takes away from some of the benefit of this exercise. So instead, he's going to be very cognizant of keeping that canister, keeping that intra-abdominal pressure as he kicks over without deviating spine position. Once again, he comes up, beautiful, and then he can do a few repetitions from here. Again, you should very much feel that in that glute med. Now we're going to show one more variation of this, get back to the original position, and we're going to do this with a little bit of load. And this does get rather challenging. So he's going to go ahead and get that load into this arm, and we're actually going to go instead, there we go, we're going to get into that position. Now from here, it's exact same thing, exact same transition, but this shoulder has far more responsibility to stabilize and articulate itself well, so that weight doesn't fall on us, right? So let's go and do the same thing, Connor. There we go. And then get up, do a few reps from there. Beautiful. And then go and stop in this bottom position. We can also hit our twists from here, right? So we can actually articulate that kettlebell and have our shoulder externally and internally rotate from here, really trying to isolate the movement at the shoulder, not too much at the wrist. We can actually do this variation from here as well. And then lastly, we can actually kick up into that top position and do the same thing. We're challenging the hell out of our trunk stabilization, our shoulder stabilization on both sides. This is a very challenging drill to perform that has a lot of potential benefit. How does that feel, Connor?
Challenging.
Awesome.